The Health Promoting Schools framework was developed in 1996 and aims to build a positive environment for learners by implementing a whole school approach. It consists of three main aspects: curriculum, teaching and learning, school organisation, ethos and environment, and finally partnerships and services. The main intentions of the selected school is to have a well-being as an explicitly stated strategic goal for the whole school. Purposely, the school's goal for well-being was to construct a whole school community to attain a sense of perspective, balance and social justice to enable students to reach their full potential as global citizens. Further, to provide students with the capabilities that will support them to develop lasting resilience and understanding of how to use their individual strengths. When first implementing this wellbeing goal, due to the newness, the school devised a broad goal and allowed for initiatives to arise through ongoing inquiry and collaboration with staff, students and the broader community. Specifically, the school adopted an approach that was collaborative and whole school, inquiry-based, and focused on building upon strengths opposed to fixing weaknesses. Individuals from all levels within the school and broader community were a part of an inquiry process that seek to find the strengths in the system and use these to create positive change within the schooling environment. This wellbeing policy is based on respect for oneself, respect for others, and respect for the environment. The aims are to create a positive school environment in which all staff and students assume responsibility for the well-being of students and colleagues. To establish an environment where each individual feels safe, respected and valued. To encourage students to develop self-discipline and to take responsibility for their own actions. To develop confidence, persistence, resilience, organisation and relationship skills through a variety of strategy and programs. To ensure that students, staff, parents clearly understand the school's expectations for student behaviour. To reinforce positive behaviour and develop self-esteem, and to establish a set of procedures that will consistently be followed across the school for dealing with unacceptable behaviour. The school provides students with a wellbeing room. This is a workplace where students can find the wellbeing teacher. This area will facilitate student visits during school hours, as well as small group and social and emotional learning and wellbeing. Students who complete a wellbeing plan with the head teacher of wellbeing or the wellbeing teacher will then be given access to the room. Students can also be referred directly to the room via head teacher of wellbeing, deputy principal or learning and support team. A wellbeing room pass is issued to the student to present to teachers for signing. In cases of high emotional or social distress, students can be referred by any member of staff with or without a wellbeing plan or wellbeing room pass. The role of the wellbeing teacher is to support teachers in identifying and responding to the additional social and emotional needs of students who have been accessing the wellbeing space. They can engage in positive social interactions with an at-risk student to help in the formation of positive social behaviour and development. They have the necessary experience and qualifications, for example, teaching qualifications on wellbeing, counselling, mental health and first aid. They run targeted group sessions with a range of selected participants focusing on wellbeing, for example, the Love Bites program. They facilitate and coordinate, in collaboration with the head teacher of wellbeing, the deputy principal and the learning and support team, the school approach to improving emotional and learning outcomes of students. They develop collaborative partnerships with the school, parents and carers, other professionals and the wider school community in making the wellbeing room an ideal environment for students with emotional and or social problems. They work in conjunction and consultation with school counsellors, being mindful of confidentiality. Another aspect of the whole school approach to wellbeing is the school's positive behaviour plan. This utilises restorative practices. When resolving a conflict, students use the process of restorative practices. They will be asked to reflect upon a series of questions guided by the teacher, as follows. What happened? How did it happen? How did you act in this situation? Who do you think was affected? How were they affected? How were you affected? What needs to happen to make things right? If the same situation happens again, how can you behave differently? Referrals can be made following the all-appropriate classroom teacher actions. For example, referral to head teacher or DP, a phone call home, student reflection. Students are also able to self-refer to the wellbeing room. Curriculum, teaching and learning. This is not only focusing on the content but also the delivery and teaching strategies. Within the school, there is a shared Google Drive that all teachers have access to learning sequences, criteria and assessment guidelines. When developing scope and sequences, a survey was sent out to students and parents to gain insight into their opinions on the PDHP subjects and the content delivery. Furthermore, all subjects are required to include mindfulness in their lessons. Teachers are also required to report back to parents for not only academic achievements and outcomes, but also the status of their students' well-being. To boost this expectation, developing a formal wellbeing curriculum for students could greatly benefit the overall whole school approach to wellbeing. School organisation, ethos and environment. This includes the physical and social environment that promotes health to all students and staff. The school promotes that all students come to the school with a readiness to learn and uphold the values of being respectful, responsible and safe learners. Furthermore, their programs implemented within the school promote wellbeing such as Are You OK Day and Bullying No Way Day. On these days, the EDPH department run physical activity games to promote healthy coping strategies and to promote physical and mental wellbeing. In terms of partnerships and services, this school runs yearly programs for the students such as Wellbeing Day and Whole School Love Bites program. Guest speakers from the wider community were invited into the school to speak to the students. For example, on Wellbeing Day, a local psychologist and mental health speaker addresses wellbeing topics and provides students with protective strategies to build resilience and manage ongoing shifts of life. Within this school, staff and students are given a platform to make decisions, plan and take action in the change process. Students' voices and opinions were consolidated through the process of developing the whole school approach, policies and programs. A whole school survey was completed by all students during their roll call. The data was collated to implement aspects within the approach. Students were asked questions such as, what key areas should we be focusing on as a whole school? What do you think is an important aspect of your teachers should demonstrate? For example, strict, funny, follows rules, implements hands-on activities. In addition to this, SRC students within the school have weekly meetings to discuss and reflect on processes such as the wellbeing room and the conflict resolution strategies to see what works best and what is possible in the future. This is an effective aspect of the whole school approach to wellbeing as it successfully aligns with the Department of Education's policy on peer mediation. Moreover, students have ongoing opportunities to talk to their year advisor regarding wellbeing queries. This is then brought to the learning and support team who meet weekly after school hours. Allowing students ongoing input endorses for full inclusion and the spread of ideas, plus the combination of multiple perspectives. It is also effective for uniting the school in a common goal and generating ideas to build wellbeing as a whole school. This is supported by Waters, White and Murray 2012, who state that regardless of the rank and role of an individual, including them in the blending of ideas allows them to feel united towards the positive common goal. The school's main focus is on creating change by recognising and magnifying the positives in students, staff and the whole school, opposed to reducing weaknesses, flaws and limitations. Hoy and Tata 2011 state that strengths-based approaches are important for creating new ways to aid schools in building administrative structures, processes, policies and best practices that facilitate for positive institute. Weekly meetings are in place for the Learning and Support Team as well as Student Representative Council. These meetings are designed to ask questions regarding analysing the school. These include, what are we doing well, what resources can we draw upon, what strengths and capabilities do we have, and how can we continue to increase motivation and commitment for change in our schooling environment. In addition to this, the school encourages ongoing suggestions and collaboration from the staff regarding how to continually build a wellbeing culture. The Physical Education Department runs multiple wellbeing programs for students and staff alike, these including morning boot camps, yoga and mindfulness lessons. The behaviour management policy was another aspect that saw change, moving towards a more positively orientated process. The school's behaviour management policy moved away from disciplinary actions to a positive behavioural and reflective actions. The schools introduced a merit point policy using likes and developed a process where students are praised for good behaviour that aligns with the school's core values of being respectful, responsible and safe. Good behaviour is logged in an electronic system so that staff and parents can be involved in development and maintenance of positive behaviour trends. During my PECS experience, I was lucky enough to participate in the Are You OK Day. This meant running games that promote physical activity and explaining how this can help individuals' overall well-being. Every day I strive to provide engaging and relevant lessons that students can relate their learning to. This increased students' motivation to learn. Furthermore, I upheld the school's core values of being respectful, responsible and safe learners. Modelling this behaviour allowed students to follow by example and provides consistency in their everyday learning. In addition to this, having high expectations of all my students so that they can achieve their highest potential. I also ensured that I followed the school's positive behaviour processes, using reflective questions and allowing the students to reflect and provide positive strategies for the future. I also ensured that I reported back to the parents for both academic and wellbeing status of their child, as well as calling parents for positive behavioural changes. I upheld the process of the PBL system and reported behaviours that followed the school's expectations with a like. In my future teaching career, I can take it a step further towards supporting the well-being of young people by reaching out and making the connection with the broader community and bringing experts in to run programs. This can assist students in being positive members of the school and society.